Hello, hello. I am Cassie Brown, and I am thrilled to welcome you to the Amplify My Impact podcast. After years of consulting and managing programs for some of the top entrepreneurs, CEOs, and marketers in the industry, I am on a mission to expand our contribution, to grow, scale, and create more so we can do and give more. This podcast celebrates entrepreneurs who are boldly stepping up to own their calling, expand their influence, and stretch outside their comfort zone, who've decided to stop playing it small, pick up the mantle of contribution, and serve at a higher level to lead by example and light the way for others. If that's you, then get ready to amplify. There's a fire that burns inside your soul, and we're going to ignite it into a roaring blaze of unstoppable momentum. Hi guys, welcome back to Amplify My Impact. I am Cassie Brown, and I have my incredible friend, Ms. Kristen McCall, who is a badass marketer, mom, and coach. And we're going to be diving into all things selling. You may know her and recognize her from the story launch method and also the new program that's launching, Serving Over Selling. And I just wish we stopped recording a little bit of the intro just to catch up because I love her and I just wanted to catch up on life. But a lot of our conversations centered around alignment and integrity in selling. So I think for this episode, we are going there. We are both heart-centered, leading the way and opening doors for impact-driven marketers to amplify their impact through whatever they create through their products and services. And we wholeheartedly believe, I'm speaking for you, Kristen. I love you.
Yeah, girl, do it.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is for people to realize there is such an abundance for people to sell. And we're both, even though we're both coaches, we coach differently and specific areas of expertise. And we were just talking about how truly serving somebody with what they need and not shoving things down their throats or in their face or at them that they don't need just to have extra income for affiliate marketing or pad the bottom line. It's just there is so much abundance in what people need to close the gap to where they want to go, for the right people to step in at the right time and serve them the right way. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Kristen, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here.
I'm so glad to be here. You're one of my favorite people. It's the best. I'm just really pumped.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get right into it.
All right, let's do it.
Topic number one, I think, is a big hot button. And if you're listening to this, chances are you're impact-driven entrepreneurs. I hope wherever this finds you at in life, I know this whole year has sort of been like one of those just maybe sucker punches you didn't see coming, but life has a way of doing that. But if nothing else, this is still the time to rise and shine and step into your purpose more so than ever before. Because I think when we're put in situations where we start to get desperate for sales or desperate for money, we can start compromising on our values. And that's one of the biggest things that you and I lean into heavily is, where is our zone of genius? Where can we serve the most and put 100% of our energy and efforts into that?
Yeah, 100%. I believe that one of the greatest gifts that you can give to yourself and your business is to take the time to get to know what your zone of genius is. And not be egotistical about it. Be like, I show up in my full self, knowing that, for me, stepping into knowing exactly my zone of genius has been, I am a badass coach. For a while, I've been like, oh, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people call me a coach and I don't know. And then you and I got a PhD in coaching. I say that because we were both performance coaches with the Mastermind 2CCX through ClickFunnels, which, y'all, I say that we got our PhD. I am now a doctor of coaching.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, having spent over 40 hours a week on Zoom doing group coaching, one-on-one coaching, managing all the people, and coaching more than 100 people at one time. I mean, y'all, that's no joke. Okay.
Yeah.
So having said that, but now I have such confidence when I show up and I say, "Okay, who are you? What do you do? Let's get to it. Like let's dive into what you need. Where are you going?" You and I both know from, we've had our agencies, we know marketing, we know how to be put together a plan. We could do it in our sleep, right?
Yep.
And and so knowing that allows me to show up and serve people with such genuine like authenticity of just like, hey, I know what I'm good at. And also, I'm going to have the humility to pass the mic when it's not something I'm good at. Like we were talking about this too before we jumped into it of like, I now know what I should not be doing. I know what I should be delegating. I know what I should be outsourcing
Yeah.
because that is not my highest calling to the world because I am not best served. Sorry if a client of mine is listening. I am not best served if I'm doing client work because that is like, I love it. I love design. I love copywriting. I love creating my own funnels. But at the end of the day, that is not my highest calling to the
Right.
world. Right.
Right.
And so you and I both agree on this about just the coming with to our clients, however you are, right? A coach, an entrepreneur, a service provider, when you show up with that humble heart of service to genuinely like you want to serve other people so that they succeed more, like everyone in your world knows that. Like
Yep.
because that is such a different attitude than how most uh entrepreneurs, business owners, whoever you are. That's most coaches don't even show up like that. I was
Yeah.
recently in a group coaching program where that was not how the coach showed up. And it was so obvious and it was not a great experience
Hmm.
because uh I know you were in it for the high ticket sale. I know you're in it for the money. You're not invested in us as people. And all of that is just like an ongoing, you can feel it, your clients can feel it, your potential clients can feel it. And so I just think your business just is turned upside down when you show up and when you serve out of that heart-centered,
Yeah.
impact-driven approach.
Yeah. I think those are all excellent points. And, unfortunately, the climate of our industry, which I'm sure it shows up in a lot of industries, there's, you know, for those of you listening in the digital marketing and coaching space, like enough is enough.
Right? Can we just say it here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come on.
I have so many incredible friends that do incredible work with high ticket selling. But high ticket selling is moving into like such a territory where people don't trust them,
Mhm.
because there is a wider gap and disconnection.
Mhm.
Because you have to really think about first, why are you creating that high ticket selling program? And if
Right.
if revenue is the only driving factor,
Right.
I would encourage you to reevaluate that.
Mhm.
It may get you some cash in the short run, but you're going to burn out. You're going to leave people disappointed and lacking. I think the worst thing that we can do as responsible people, in whatever niche we're serving, is to create hope and not deliver on it. Like
A
to
100%.
open that door of incredible possibility and get people to the edge of taking that leap of faith and not be there to catch them. I
Yep.
think that there's way too many people who have been burned, by programs or coaches or things, and sometimes things are not intentional. Like, I'm not saying the world is filled of bad people. It's probably
Sure.
good people that got overwhelmed and just kind of like ghosted, or like, I don't know what to
Right.
do, so I'm just
Right.
taking my ball and going home. And so I think there is an increased level of, responsibility for you to look at something, like you shared and what you said. If it truly is your zone of genius, and this is where you are going to serve come hell or high water, even
Right.
if the revenue generated starts creeping into, like, and stretching your ROI. You should be more
Right.
concerned about the ROI of the people who have invested in themselves and the results that you create for them.
Totally, totally agree. And I think there is a level of responsibility that the coaching industry as a whole has just been like, oh, well, I'm going to put together some base minimum, trainings and some templates and call it high ticket and call it a day. And it's like, that is not, I think at the end of the day, when you and I know have experienced this. So you and I both follow Julie Stoyan, and we have really invested in her trainings. And do you know why? Because her products, like she and Kathy with the Funnel Gorgeous brand, and me, I've invested in Julie's mastermind. Like her products deliver. Like if she tells you you're going to learn XYZ, then you're probably going to learn ABC all the way through XYZ because she over delivers. Um, and I think one of the teachings that I have found most impactful from her is when you over deliver and when you actually help people get results, the lifetime value of your customer doing business with you over the long haul is like tremendous.
Yeah.
And I think in our market and in our online marketing niche, there are a whole lot of people that are a flash in the pan. I'm going to like gobble up this part of the market with this offer or even this low ticket thing. I'm going to gobble everybody up, but people don't have a good experience if it's not an actual product that transforms and inspires and gets you results, right? So then what happens to all those people that gobble up that part of the market share? Well, all those customers are not going to buy from that person again,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's
Yep.
like, okay, great. Congratulations. You made $1 million in 6 months. Woohoo. Great. You got the plaque. Like, congratulations. But now, over the long haul, are those people like to me the real test of if you are a genuine transformative person that helps people get results, like will someone buy from you more than one time, right?
Yes. Yep.
It's like, and so there are unfortunately a whole lot of people that just want to make money, and those are not our people, right? Like those
No,
are
no,
not
no, no. And they're not your
our,
people. If you're listening, don't
yeah,
lose sleep over that. Like they're not your people. And I had to learn that the hard way. We all go through integrations and personal growth and we want to we want to save everybody. And we want to pour our hearts and the souls into everything. And to be able to do that, you have to know like it's okay. It's okay to walk away from
yeah,
people who want that instant success but don't want to put in the work in the back end. They're just not ready
yep,
for you yet. you know
nope,
i I give them all of the tools that they need to succeed and to serve the right way, and it's totally up to them how they do that.
yep,
So before we go on to the next, because I really want to get into your philosophy of serving over selling,
yeah,
but
yeah.
how did you get to this point? Like, I really want to dig a little bit deep and share a little bit of your journey, because I
Yeah,
think a lot of people who listen, their parents, they're you know there's a mixture of men and women, but there's also like there's so many things in life in general that I think it's so important for us to share our journey, what shaped us to literally be sitting at this point right now and
yeah,
sharing this conversation.
totally. So I mean, you know this, but for everyone who doesn't, so my journey has been very windy. I've had a very, um, I mean, so I am a woman of faith. So that is the foundation of my journey of just at the end of the day, I am driven by hope and faith and love and my faith in Jesus Christ. Um, but that doesn't guarantee that all things are easy, right? And so in college, long story short, I got married right out of college. I was engaged my senior year of college, got married like 2 months after I graduated college, was in a pretty hard marriage for several years. Just my whole world crumbled around me. we ended up getting a divorce, and he told me he wanted a divorce. And then I was a little more stubborn and not, I was like, I'm not going down without a fight. Right. And so, I mean, I fought for our marriage for 2 years, and spent more on counseling than our mortgage most months for several years. And then in the end, I came to a place of surrender and acceptance and was like, all right, this is what we're doing. And then 3 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. Uh, and so um, that was that was the end of Kristen version 1.0 and the beginning of a whole transformation for me and my life. So anyway, fast forward, long story short, I had our son Jacob. Our divorce was final when he was 6 weeks old. And I was a single mom from the get-go, abandoned by my ex-husband with a newborn. And I don't say that lightly, right? Like that was a very, very dark season. But in all of God's faithfulness, he provided the best people around me. I had some of the best jobs. I Before that, I was a wedding and portrait photographer, completely on my own, entrepreneur, you know. And out of nowhere, I felt God prompting me to get a job, and it was at a Christian university. I live outside Nashville, Tennessee. And wouldn't you know that it came with my own health insurance, all the things that I very specifically needed, that he knew I needed, but I didn't know I needed at the time. So anyway, that's just one example. I've been an online marketing manager for that university. Then I was a publicist at a traditional Christian publishing company where I helped New York Times bestselling authors launch their books and built the digital form of whatever their book launch plan was. And then I went out on my own, and I've been doing for the last 3 years my own thing in different capacities. You and I coached together in the 2CCX program. I had an agency for a while, which is now morphed into a coaching company, consulting company. But yeah, so I mean, my journey has been so wild. And oh yeah, fast forward, somewhere in the middle of all of that, I got remarried and had two more kids. So all that to say, there's been a whole lot going on for the last decade of my life, where it's just been an onslaught of wonderful things and very hard things, right? Because I still co-parent with my ex. Our son now is 7 and in second grade. And so there's just lots of juggling. Everyone says balance, and I'm like, no, there's no balance in life. It's a whole lot of juggling. Like, and I heard the best analogy one time about juggling and how all the balls are in the air, and some of the balls are plastic and some of the balls are glass. And I thought that was fascinating. And it was like, you have to choose when you're in a season that you and I are in, because I know a little bit of what you guys are going through. When you're in a season where it does feel a little bit like the duck paddling, where it's like your feet under the water are just like and then like above the water, you're just trying to remain graceful and calm and like it's like, but you have to decide which ball's gonna, if you have to decide which ball's gonna drop, make sure it's the plastic ones that are gonna bounce, like other people's expectations of you. Make sure it's not the glass ones that are the most important, like your family and whatever those really important things are to you in your life. None of this is what you asked me, but this is just where my mind went.
No, no, I think I wholeheartedly believe, like, this is why I always ask everyone to share their journey. Is our past experiences and the things that we go through, like, mold us and shape us, and they create our values, they create our foundation of what we create now, why we're doing what we're doing, and the capacity, and whether it's, as an entrepreneur, or is, an incredible contributor, volunteer, employee, whatever it is. I think that's what makes us show up and be all in whatever we're doing.
Yeah,
And and
totally
and
agree.
more people need to hear that, because like there's more and more pressure all the time
100%.
to be perfect, to to you know like, even when we originally went through Adam's diagnosis over 9 years ago, like, I felt like experienced all of the emotions, and I have just a deep rooted Christian faith. And I felt so guilty. I felt so
Mm.
guilty for being mad and for being
Mhm.
angry. Like all of these emotions that I equated with being against what God wanted for me,
Mhm.
instead of realizing God created those emotions just like he created me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and I'm thankful for that experience, because now when our kids get angry or frustrated, I'm not putting them in a box. I'm not putting
Right.
them in a box that they're like, nope, don't be angry. No,
Right.
heck yes. There's going to be a lot of things in life that are going to
Mhm.
make you angry, disappointed, fearful, frustrated, guilty. But what are you going to do when you process those emotions? And a
Mm.
processing is what's really, really important. And
100%.
that, I believe, like totally has filled you up and overflowed into what you're doing today and how you're serving today. Like
Yeah.
it's a direct reflection of how we're applying that skill set that God gave us to
Yeah.
pour into others.
Yeah.
And it's, the genuine and authentic path, it's messy and it's ugly.
Super messy.
Yeah.
Well,
But you get through,
because
like you get through.
totally get through. And but the I think that you reach your authentic self by you have to kind of test the waters. It's kind of like a pendulum. You swing a little bit far to this side where it's like it's not really myself, and then you swing back to this side which is way okay, wait, that's not myself either, and somehow you like land in the middle, right? And I think that's what a lot of our life experience is like, oh, I'm going to go over here, or like this circumstance brought something, oh gosh, that makes me really react, or I react a certain way when this happens. Oh wait, that's way too much over here. You're like, it's just a whole lot of, but you're right. I think you don't have the awareness if you're not processing it. And that has been one of the biggest lessons I've learned is when we are in a season where it is so much going on, you have to take the time to stop and evaluate and become self-aware and process it as you go. And because otherwise you're going to, get 10 years down the road and be like, "Holy crap, how did I end up here?" Right? Because we've all seen those people in our life too, where they're just kind of going through life and doing the next thing, and you're going to end up somewhere where you don't want to be. And so I know that's on your heart too, just to help people really be intentional about where you want to go and making sure that you have the plans in place to get there.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect pivot point, is, intentional about where you want to go. And that's what I love about what you've created with serving over selling. And so for those who are listening, like get ready to dig in, because this is a hot topic and something that most, I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm just going to assume that most people who are impact driven and who are, of a servant nature, sales just naturally makes them squirm.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
But
And it shouldn't.
I know,
Shouldn't.
I know, but and I'm totally speaking from experience, because like I grew up in a small family business.
Mhm.
I learned selling, like, I don't think you know this about me, but we had a marketing agency where we did grand openings for like Publix
Oh, I didn't know this.
and yes, so like Walmart, Publix, Albertsons, Food Lion, like all of those. We had a territory and we had the contracts for all of the weekend promotions. The people in the store that pass out the free food, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody loves those people. But guess what? There's a lot of people who say no to free stuff, right?
Mhm.
And a
Mhm.
part of that job was, at the end of the day, we had to fill out an inventory report.
Mm.
Our beginning inventory, ending
Mhm.
inventory, and whatever was missing was obviously sales, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And, you know, I have been working with that was my mom's company that I started working with when I was 9 years old. I helped out answering the phones when I was
That's so
12.
fun.
Yeah, when I was 12, I was tall enough to look like a 15, 16-year-old, so I was in character costumes at the grand opening.
So awesome.
And then when I was 15 and 16, I started doing the demonstrations. But it's a ton of rejection.
Aha.
It's a ton of observing people's behavior and I'm
Mhm.
interrupting their shopping experience,
Right.
right? So
Right.
like you have to be aware of what you're doing,
Mhm.
how you're
Mhm.
approaching them. And so I just shifted my job into how am I going to make their day better?
Mhm.
Not how am I going to sell more things?
Right.
How am I going to make their day better?
Right.
And like that just became one of those things about how I approach sales. And I think too many people get stuck on how am I going to sell more? How am I going to make more money? And they turn a human being into a profit margin mark on a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Yeah. They do. Because and I just, oh man, this is so good. I just like get so excited. I want to talk about all the things. Okay, so at the end of the day, you whatever you're doing, okay? Whether you're a service provider or a coach or a course creator that has created something, right? You are trying to help someone get a result, whether that is a new website or a new understanding of a concept or whatever that is, right? And so you, as the business owner, entrepreneur, have to understand that you really are serving that person, right? If you want them to have transformation, you are serving them. Okay. So, in order to serve them well, you have to know the result that you are selling. Okay. You have to communicate the result you are selling. And then you have to help them envision what their life is going to look like when they get that result. Okay. And that is the sales process, right? You come to them, you meet them where they are. If it is a more high ticket, like I'm going to have a sales call experience, you find out where they are in their life. And I believe this is the big distinction, okay? For me, I believe that as a seller, closer, whoever you are, your job is to make the distinction on whether this is a right fit for them or not, because that is serving them. That is serving them well. If you can clearly say, this is who this is for, and this is who this is not for. Like, don't come into this coaching program if XYZ, right? Don't come into this coaching program if you, like, for example, and I don't want to throw it under the bus, but we're going to do it. Okay. In the coaching program that we were in last year, um, if someone came to me and said, hey, on one of my coaching calls, hey, I don't even know what kind of business I want to do. I don't help me decide what business I want. Well, you probably shouldn't have invested 3 grand a month if you literally have no idea, right? Like, I'll sit here and we can use this time to talk about it. But a better use of your time and dollars probably would have been to go do some digging, read some books, get the free resources, read the free blog posts, talk to some people that you know, talk to your family that loves you. What are you gifted in? Then come back and do a more intense coaching program, right? And so I believe that when you help someone decide if it is a good fit for you or not, that is when people will come back to you in 6 months. So I was a high ticket closer in a group coaching program. And this was why I was so successful. I sold somewhere in the realm of 400,000 to $500,000 of group coaching within a like 4 month
Very
period.
small, yeah, very small time frame.
Very small time frame. Okay. I This is when and where I got so passionate about selling, and especially this more high ticket kind of category of selling. Um, because people will pay you to 5, 10, 20, $30,000 if it is a program that is amazing, reputable, can provide the transformation. If I'm investing 20 grand and you're going to teach me how to make a million, I think that's a great investment. But you have to make sure that the person is ready for that investment. And that's
Mhm.
where this heart of service in the selling process comes from, right? Is making sure that the people are ready for the transformation and make sure they are ready for whatever that is, the services you provide or the offer that you have or the coaching program that you're enrolling people in. So at the end of the day, I think the best salespeople are the ones that will tell you, no, you're not ready for this. Go read the following 6 blog posts that are free on my blog and
Yeah.
come back to me in 6 months, right?
Oh my gosh, I love that because right on the surface, it's so counterintuitive.
Yep.
Is why would you push away people who are making a phone call appointment to talk to
Right.
you about your
Right.
program? Like
Right.
someone else would argue they're 90% there. Close
Mhm.
them. And
Right.
it
Someone
and
else would say, make the money, make the
yeah,
revenue.
yeah.
But I mean, but this goes back to the other point. At the end of the day, if you close a person who's 90% of the way there, but not ready for your program, they will
Mhm.
be the flash in the pan. They will
Yeah.
be the person that is bitter and resentful and angry once they get into the coaching program, once they realize the level of all the other people who are up here who already have businesses or already at a certain level in their business. And they're over here like brand newbies, like, oh my gosh, I feel overwhelmed. I have so much work to do. Well, they're not set up for success. Like you did not enroll the right person in this program if you know how much work they have ahead of them to get them to that point, that's not anyway. So they're not going to buy from you again because they're going to be the people that are frustrated and bitter and resentful that they paid you X number of dollars and they'll never buy from you again.
Mhm.
So in the end, you're not serving yourself or those people well because if that person had had a good experience, they might have then continued to buy from you, enroll in a mastermind like XYZ in the end, right?
Yeah.
But if those people are mad, well, congratulations, you got their 5 grand and they're never going to buy from you again.
Yeah, and on that note, I think it's really, really important because, when we talk a lot of times about the lifetime value of our clients and our customers, a lot of people really don't understand that. And
Right.
I have just such an extreme benefit of the way that I was raised growing up in a small company, like seeing firsthand what it was like to have ongoing clients and the
Mhm.
lifetime value of a customer and the value of a relationship, because when you look at things that way, you start making decisions differently in your business. It
Mhm.
doesn't always become about an immediate bottom line. It becomes, how do I serve best? How do I foster this relationship? And how do I create win-win-win scenarios for everyone around me?
Yep.
And so I really want to get into that. So what would be some of the things that you would say to look for opportunities like that to step in and serve in a bigger way?
Yeah, I mean, when you step in and serve your clients, it it helps everyone. Just like you said, it's a win-win-win because the more that you understand your client's journey, the more it helps you in your business develop greater products, realize where you have gaps missing in your products, helping you realize what they need, product develop research and development ongoing. Like you serving your client well means that you're never going to be in short supply of ideas to help them. You're never going to be out of, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm going to come up with next. Never, because they're going to tell you what they need every step of the way, right? And when I come to Julie and I'm like, Julie, I want a course on course development. She's like, great, because you're the 500th person that said that. So now I'm going to go do the course on course development, right? Um, so when you do develop those people that know, like, and trust you because they have walked with you, they know that you're genuine, they know that you're authentic, they know that your heart is to serve them and not to make money, they will come back to you because it is very obvious the coaches who want to serve and the coaches who want to make money. The coaches who want to serve, if they're in a group coaching scenario and there's more questions than there are allotted time for, they'll say, "Hey, I'm going to push my other stuff back. Let's sit here. You didn't get all your questions answered, right?" It's like the story that I say, which I'm not okay. I'm not a giant T Swift fan, but I like Taylor Swift for a whole lot of reasons. And this is one of them. And this is the analogy that I like to use. The coaches and the people who are only in it to make money, those you are a number to them. You are a dollar value to them. Okay. Taylor Swift, on the other hand, every fan is like gold to her. She treats every single one. She will stay at a concert. No one's going to concerts right now, but when she had concerts and when people were waiting in line, she would stay at the concert venue and sign every single person's thing, every step, every stop of the tour, right? And do you know how she's so freaking popular? Because every single fan, every interaction, like I know people, I'm in Nashville, so I know people who know her people, and they say she still is running her own social media, is responding to all the fans. And that shows that grassroots, like she responded to my tweet one time and now I'm like a forever fan, right? Um, that is serving. And granted, like there's boundaries, there's all sorts of things we can talk about that. But at the end of the day, some of my favorite authors, speakers, coaches, they show up and serve in such tangible ways.
Yeah.
And the coaches that are the flash in the pan or the service providers that just want to make money and then on to the next project, like that, it is just obvious. It's just going to be obvious after you follow people, after you see, and our industry is small. Like you're going to know the people who are the authentic, wonderful, really want to come from a heart of service and impact.
Yeah. So as we come to the top of the hour, girl, I feel like we could do like a whole
I feel like we need like a part 3, part 4,
for real. Like, I don't know. Like maybe there's just a podcast just on selling. Wait, you're launching your podcast.
Uh-oh. Here we are.
All right. So we're just gonna open that loop. Like I think we should do a series for sure when your podcast opens, because this is so near and dear to my heart that I wish more people talked about it. I wish more people not only talked about it but implemented it. Right. This is a topic that you will hear in speeches and discussion. But when something is out of alignment with the actions and the way that you see someone show up, like pay attention, just pay attention.
Interest your intuition. Like, know.
Yes. And so as we wrap up, what can we leave everyone with? Like you've shared so much about how to be, authentic and genuine, but is there just like 3 or a few tips that you just give them a definite, like this is how you operate, right?
Sure.
This is the best practice and how to, even if you're struggling with selling, even if you still think it's slimy, even if to this point you've listened to the whole episode and you're like, I don't know if I can do it. Like what can you do to close that gap?
Here's what I would say. Start serving your people however you can. Okay. So I recommend, and I know you love this too, but I recommend starting with a Facebook group. Like start cultivating a community of people who align with what the heart of your mission is, that, need whatever your zone of genius that we talked about before is. Start cultivating that community and just start showing up every day. Serve your people, ask them questions, ask them what they need. Ask, like, your zone of genius here, their need is here. Like, picture a fun Venn diagram with colors and like it meets in the middle here, right? So start showing up. And then the other thing is this is one of my favorite sayings, that our coach Helen, that we both love, says all the time. She says, when you get nervous, because so many people get so nervous about selling, focus on service. So when you get nervous, focus on service. And just think about, how can I show up? How can I serve my people today? And I believe that one of the best ways that you can serve people is to provide hope. So show them what that transformation could look like in their life. And then the other thing is to show them the results of what's possible. So be very clear. And I know you are so passionate about messaging and all of that. And y'all go pick her brain about all that. Right. but focus on the result, right? People are not going to buy from you if they're confused. So when you're communicating, focus on the result of what you're providing, the transformation that you're promising as a result of your product, service, program, whatever it is. And that's how you serve, right? Serve well, be clear in your communication, show them what's possible, and tell them what the result's going to be, right?
I love that. And honestly, at that point, you'll never have to sell another day in your life
Right.
because the results speak for themselves,
Right?
and your clients will share and do the referrals for you.
100%.
And when you get to that point in business, you're unstoppable.
100%. It's like the lion doesn't have to tell you it's a lion. It just roars.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. All right, girl. I feel like we could go on for like hours, but this is awesome.
Yes. So please tell everybody where to connect, how to connect with you, how to catch up, how to, of
all
course,
the things.
Yes, of course, we'll be sharing all of the links, and doing more interviews as the service over selling like grows. I'm so excited for you with this because I think this is just so you.
Yeah, I think it is too. It feels like a fun sweet spot. So everyone, all the info, all the things are at KristenMcCall.com. So you can go follow me on all the platforms and find my Facebook group that's free there, and find more info about the group coaching program.
Awesome. Woo-hoo! All right, girl. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for spending time with me today. I hope you've received value, encouragement, and exactly what you need to help keep you in momentum to grow and impact the world around you. Big or small, we all make a difference. Thanks also for subscribing, downloading, and leaving a review. This helps us reach others who need this message in their life. If you know anyone who would benefit from this podcast, please share so you and I can help more people boldly step into purpose. It is my heart's mission to help and encourage others. My internal belief that a rising tide lifts all ships. So much of what we talk about on the podcast is leading with value and building relationships through service. So we've created a collection of resources for you to continue growing, whether you are just getting started or ready to scale your business. Visit amplifymyimpact.com for show notes, downloads, programs, and more information about how to directly work with our team to amplify your impact and change the world.